Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
Welcome to a really special episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. This is your host, Bruce Hutchin, and I have the founder of Hunt of a Lifetime with me this evening, Tina Pattison, and Jim and Kris Gilbert, who are Michigan ambassadors for Hunt of a Lifetime. Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Well, I'm doing great. It's a Sunday evening, and my football team won. I don't know if yours won or not, but my football team is the Green Bay Packers. So I'm a happy cowboy tonight, that's for sure.
So that's good. They kind of took one from my team last week there, the Detroit Lions.
Well, I'll just jump right. I'll put both feet into it. The NFL officials took that game away from Detroit, should have won that game. So full transparency, Detroit got ripped.
It's all good, though. It's all good.
Well, it is what it is. But Tina, thank you so much for what you've done. And I want all the listeners to hear the story about Matthew, because that was the beginning of Hunt of a Lifetime. And I think everybody needs to hear it from his mother.
Okay. Matthew got cancer in 1995, went into remission. He came back in 98. I asked him what he wanted to do more than anything. And he said, I went to another well-known organization. They informed us that hunts were done. They were no longer doing them. So I asked them for some leads, called different places. About lead number 15 or 20, I finally got a guy that said he could do it, but not until the following year. The guy I talked to the first said after I hung up, God drew at his heartstring. So he kept looking, and he put together a hunt for Matt on October 6th of the very same year. My hunt that I got was the next year. Matt went out October 4th to go to Alberta, got his moose on October 6th, turned around and spent Thanksgiving with him. Come home. 6 months later, he went out of remission again, and it was a very aggressive cancer, and they did a double dose of chemo, and he passed away from the chemo shutting down all his major organs. So after putting that one together and raising 6 boys in the hunting industry, I figured, you know what? I did it for Matt. Do this for others. I know about expo shows and contact. So I moved forward and decided to set it in place for Matt. I had to do a lot of praying because people were telling me I was nuts. Got an answer from the good guy up above. On Christmas Eve, my mother's favorite holiday, a godparent had called with our first child, and I knew it was a sign from above when he told me his godson's name was Matt. So thus we moved forward, and today, 20 years later, we have done over 1,000 kids with only 3 paid employees. The rest are volunteers. And we keep moving forward because of wonderful folks like the Gilberts, whose son went out on a hunt. They're going to have to tell you when because I forgot the year. He did it at Elkhart. After that, they signed up and they took over Michigan for us. And now they're the Michigan ambassadors. And their son, David, who has beat his aplastic anemia, has a wife. And Kim, his wife, and their grandchild help mom and dad continue spreading the word and doing different things for us in the Michigan area. And they travel out of state whenever we need them to travel. So it's become a family tradition. And it all started with Dave's hunt. And then Kris and Jim stepping up and taking on Michigan for us. So we have a wonderful bunch of different volunteers all over the United States.
Jim, why don't you talk about the ambassador program so anybody's listening to say, geez, that's something I would like to find out more about. And the role and what you do, and tell us the story of how you guys got involved.
Okay. Well, I guess the ambassador program, what it really entails, a lot of the entails of what we do is we get out there and we go to different hunting and fishing, outdoor expos. Oh, we just travel all over Michigan. We go to churches, we go to fish fries and so on. And that's pretty much what we do to get. We're not only just out there beating the bush for the donations for Hunt of a Lifetime, we're also out there beating the bush for the kids. Get as many kids involved, give them their opportunity, actual opportunity of a lifetime. It's just Kris and myself both have very demanding full-time jobs. Me working in a grain and bean elevator, and my wife works at a bank. So it takes up a little time, but it's not as bad as what everybody thinks. We get to talk, which we both love to do. We get to see a lot of people, get to meet a lot of great individuals in our trip. We've made a lot of friends, made a lot of family doing this. It really is relatively easy. If I can do it, just about anybody can do it, because just the way it is. We got started back in 2007, I believe, when my son was diagnosed with severe aplastic anemia, where he needed a bone marrow transplant to live a full functional life. And lo and behold, after everyone was tested, my daughter, Melissa, his oldest sister, his only sister, she was his perfect match. So he got his bone marrow transplant and everything's great. I mean, he's doing fantastic now. I mean, it all started back. He was in a group called Young Explorers through the police, the local sheriff's department here in county in Michigan. And he heard of Hunt of a Lifetime. So he actually got all the paperwork around and kind of got it to us and got it to Dave, and we signed up, and they took three things that Dave would love to hunt, and he picked. He really wanted to go on an elk hunt, and we had it all set up to go to Colorado. And I'm not real. It's been a while, so it's hard to remember back. But something happened where the guide couldn't take us, and he asked another gentleman that he knew quite well from New Mexico, and somehow, some way, at a Safari Club International, a gentleman at the Safari Club International deal in New Mexico had bought what was called a governor's tag, which he donated to Hunt of a Lifetime, which allowed any person that held this tag to hunt any open available area in New Mexico with any type of weapon. It had to be an open area, but they could use any type of weapon. So we ended up in New Mexico in a primitive hunting area and using even modern rifles. I wish Dave was available tonight to touch on this, but I can't say enough. The hunt was just totally amazing. And we were hooked immediately. When I come back, I talked to Kris, pretty much said, we got to do this. And we got in contact with Tina. We said, we want to be ambassadors. We want to get out. We want to do this. And that's pretty much how it went. She says, welcome aboard. Did a background check on us. We passed. And here it is, 2019, and we've been around for 12 years.
Wow. Did Dave get an elk?
He sure did. He got a 6x6 bull elk, right around that 350-inch class. So it was a good one.
Private or public?
This was a private land. Like I say, it had been closed to the modern rifle for, I believe they told us, like 80 years. There hadn't been a modern rifle hunt on this piece of land. And he shot it with 7mm. He shot it with a 7mm mag, what he used.
And you got to go along, right?
I did. Through the program, we send the child, and we take and send one parent with them and cover their expenses. Like I say at the shows, the child pays nothing out of pocket for the parents, and we cover everything from the boots on their feet to the hat on their heads, everything in between, with the weapon of their choice, fishing pole. We make it happen. They tell us what they want to do, and we get out there and we beat around and we make it happen.
Other gentlemen told me that companies like Cabela's or Shields or Bass Pro or all the big name sporting houses have really stepped up. And when you have a need, you just go in and they pretty much outfit the kid. Is that a fair statement?
Pretty much, yeah. It's amazing. If we ask, it's there. So many of the companies, and they'll do just about anything when they find out this is for children. And I know there's different big organizations that hand out cards also, if I'm not mistaken. Just hand out a gift card and you send it to the child and they just keep the receipts, everything that they get, and send it back to us. I think I'm hitting everything correct, Tina?
Well, we buy the gift card through Hunt of a Lifetime, and when they go to the stores, the manager gives them a 25% discount to go along with $500 gift card we give.
Okay.
So they're pretty well taken care of.
Yes, they're taken care of, from taxidermy to processing their meat or their fish, sending it home with them. They get a shoulder mount or a replica of their fish. They get a gift card from Hunt of a Lifetime for $500 to go shopping to make sure that, like Jim said, from the toes to the head is covered. We don't want them getting sick when they get there, so we make sure they have the right gear to keep them warm, keep them dry. Everything's covered: tags, license, rental car, hotel and lodging, airline flights back and forth. No expense to the family. I geared it to follow what they did for my son when he went on his hunt, which also started with the Safari Club in Pittsburgh. So the Safari Club in Pittsburgh put us wise how to get this hunt. They made it happen. They made sure all this stuff was provided for Matt. So when Matt passed away and I started doing it for other kids, I said, you know what? I was raising 6 boys with my husband, and bills are astronomical with medical stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make sure that all the things that were done for Matt are done for each child that goes through Hunt of a Lifetime. There was no expenses to our family when they took Matt. They took him with one adult figure, which we do. They paid for his airlines. They paid for everything. They paid for his meat to be processed, shipped back. They made sure he had clothing to keep warm and dry when he went to Alberta, Canada. They made sure that there was nothing on our end that we had to worry about. They even offered to buy him a new rifle. But Matthew had a favorite rifle, and a new rifle was not going to replace it. So he turned it down, but we do that for the kids. Savage Rifle Company is the only company that has ever unlimited discount rifles for our kids. Some of the other ones just want to do 1 or 2. Savage has always done every child that we've sent them at a drastic discount that we can't get anywhere else. And there's no top level, okay, you've sent us enough kids, we're done. It's whatever. So very wonderful companies out there. We have McKinsey that takes care of the forms for the mount for the kids. We have taxidermists. Don't charge us a thing. We get the supplies. That's all they need. And then they do all the taxidermy for free. Their time and their labor is free. A lot of them like to meet the families, bring the kids to their place, take them out to dinner, present them. They just love it when the kids come and they see the smile on the kids' faces. Everything is done. There's nothing left uncovered by us. And they get to pick their animal. We don't pick it for them. We don't tell them, okay, you're going to go do this hunt. It's what do you want? What do you want to fish for? What do you want to hunt for? We actually have a young man that's going to hunt anaconda, python in Florida. That's our first one.
Wow. That's kind of, I don't know if I'd like to do that.
I called Bill Booth, who does National Geographic.
Yeah.
And he's been on board since 20 years ago. I said, Bill, do you do snake hunts? And he said, yeah, why? Because after 20 years, I got my first ass anaconda python hunt, and I thought of you. He said, yep. So they're doing it in Florida in January.
Oh, my goodness. Do you have a huge waiting list, Tina and Jim and Kris?
Nope. Every kid that's ever gone out come in has gone out.
Wow. How do you do that? I mean, because it ain't cheap. Everything that you mentioned that you guys do, that's expensive. And so I would think a lot of kids would just say, I really want to go shoot an antelope in Wyoming or whitetail in Wisconsin or whatever. It doesn't matter. But is it because people don't know of you guys, or why don't you think you're overwhelmed with requests?
Tina, let me step in just for a moment. Like I said, we do a lot of outdoor shows. And I'll tell you, Bruce, for me, it's super easy to go out and get money to send to Tina. I mean, it's super easy. When I sit down with a mom and talk to mom, please get online, fill out this paperwork. It is super easy, super simple. This is what we do. And I tell you what, moms are the toughest. They're tough as nails, Bruce. They say, you know what? I'm not sure if I want my son or my daughter running around the woods or the hills in North Dakota or Colorado. Moms are tough. They're a tough cookie to crack, that's for sure. It takes a lot of talking, a lot of time to get some of these kids to go. We've been sitting on one. I've been working on one for 3 years here, and mom is just not ready to let her out of her grasp. She's fighting cancer. She's battled it 2 times. She's 10 years old now, and mom is just not ready to cut her loose with dad to go hunting. So it's harder to get kids than what you would think. It really is.
There's not a kid that comes in that doesn't go out. If they come in, put online, go out. The only time they don't get right out is if season's closed. They got to wait for the next season.
How do people reach Hunt of a Lifetime? Where does somebody go that's listening to say, wait a minute, I want my kid. I know maybe he's got 18 months. If he doesn't get a miracle in his life, maybe 18 months, and he's going to not be with us anymore. So how does somebody reach out and get a hold of you guys, and what's the process?
They go to www.huntofalifetime.org and hit on youth form. It's right on the front page. Fill out the 5 pages. Get the doctor letter that says this child is considered life-threatening, what he has. He's 21 and under, or she, because we do have girls. She's 21 and under. She fits your program. Here's what she wants to do. And then they get the form into us here at the main office in Harbor Creek. I check paperwork, make sure the paperwork's in order. And then depending on what animal they want, I start hitting up my ambassadors. Hey, you got a bear hunt, black bear hunt. I know you got a black bear offer in Michigan. Get a hold of the guy. Jim and Kris did that, I think, 3 years ago. Get a hold of the guy, let him know we have a child. Let's get this child out with them. Then Jim and Kris handle the outfitter and the child, getting the dates confirmed. Then they get back to me, and then we finalize it here at National Office. I make sure they get their rifle, make sure they line up a taxidermy, make sure they're getting their gift card from here, making sure the travel agent knows all the information she does. She's been on board with us for 20 years and has not charged us anything. And the funny part about her is she doesn't hunt her fish. Her husband does, and he hooked her.
Now, are you up on social media, like Facebook or Twitter, Instagram?
Yes, I have 3 Hunt of a Lifetime Facebook sites myself. One is Hunt of a Lifetime Foundation. The other one is Hunt of a Lifetime Western PA and Hunt of a Lifetime Eastern PA. Because there's so much going on that we kind of had to split the sites so we have enough coverage on both sides of Pennsylvania. We have other ambassadors. When you punch in Hunt of a Lifetime, you'll have Wisconsin. Jim and Kris, I don't know if they got Michigan up yet. We have Oregon. We have Idaho. We have Utah. We have Washington. And when you put in Hunt of a Lifetime on Facebook, you're going to see multitudes of them. The ones that host the kids got pictures of the kids up. I kind of got on the foundation page, hunts, thank yous, benefits going on, different things I'm doing, where I'm going to be at. Then on the Western PA, if it's things going on in Western PA for benefits and expos that we're set up at, same thing with Eastern PA, what the people over there that are ambassadors are doing. what they got going on. So, yeah, if you go to Facebook and punch in Hunt of a Lifetime, you'll probably see about 10. And it might even be higher than that now because we have put some new ambassadors in place and pretty active on Facebook.
That's great. Well, I'm thinking of it, guys. So when we look at it, what's your challenge for growth right now, Jim or Tina?
Spreading the word, getting more people doing funding, because as we get bigger, we're getting more and more kids in. And so far, thank the good Lord, we still have plenty of funding to keep them going out. So we always want to work on funding, because now that we're getting louder and we're getting more ambassadors to outdoor sports shows, the kids will start picking up. Our lowest has been 50. Our highest has been 77. And it's all been done on volunteers. So just getting more and more awareness out there. My biggest goal, and Kris and Jim will tell you, is finding the kids. Then worrying about funding second. I don't want any child out there that had the same dream as my child or as Jim and Kris's child to miss it because they didn't find out about us. So my first goal is always getting the knowledge out there for kids to find us so we can take care of them. And then my second goal is to make sure we have the funding coming in to make sure that we never have to set a kid aside to the next year because we don't have enough funds. We have done 20 years without ever have to setting a kid aside. The only time we've ever had to do it is if it came in after all the seasons were closed and the tags were already all gone.
That's great. So we covered how to get involved, covered the growth challenge, and covered the background. We need to wrap this up now. So any final words, Jim, Kris, or Tina?
What I'm hoping, Bruce, is that Tina don't ever get tired. I hope she's not getting tired. I hope she stays in there and stays strong, because I tell you, she's probably one of the most amazing women that I've met. It's no joke. She just goes and goes. She's like the Energizer Bunny. She's always there, does a lot of work behind the scenes, and she's just a totally amazing woman. And everything she does is for the kids. It's not for Tina. It's for the kids, and she makes that very, very well known.
Tina?
As he's saying that, I'm thinking, you know what? So are you, Jim and Kris, because of all you do in Michigan, the kids are finding us. And because all you do in Michigan, the funds are coming in. And I told somebody today, my grant writer, I said, I'm just a hub. And if I didn't have the spokes of all the ambassadors that just do so much and they're so active, the wheel would fall apart. Yeah, I might be the Energizer Bunny, as I'm told, ADHD, but without the spokes, it wouldn't do me any good. So ambassadors, Jim and Kris, parents that have come on board, that's what they are. Some of the ambassadors have never had a child, but just all the ambassadors in the 50 states and all the different people like Dan Wilhite, our grant writer, just everybody doing everything as a family. We call it the Hunt of a Lifetime family. Without the family, the hub in the middle can't do much of anything without those spokes to hold the wheel together.
Well, guys, I just wish you all the best on behalf of over 500,000 listeners to Whitetail Rendezvous over the last few years. It's been an honor to chat with you guys today. And as soon as this gets published, I will let Dan know and I'll let each of you know. But please do reach out to me so I have your email addresses. I already have Tina's. I need Jim and Kris's, and with your bios and photos. And with that, I'll say good night. You guys have a super week. And always reach out to me, because if you need something, I might know somebody in the industry that can help you guys out.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.